What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Flix and Six. We have a very exciting episode tonight. Tom, what movie are we talking about tonight?
The Kindergarten Teacher.
That's right. And we have our very dear friend, Jen Wright's in the studio tonight. This is Jen. She's very sweet. She's our guest. Give it up for Jen, everybody. As Tom said, we're talking about The Kindergarten Teacher. I'm Jeremy Miller.
I'm Michael Chernus.
I'm Tommy Legan.
And I'm Jen Wrights.
Welcome to Flix and Six. What's up, gang? As we said up top tonight, we are talking about The Kindergarten Teacher. This was written and directed by Sarah Colangelo. Again, I don't know about my pronunciation,
though.
but it sounds right.
Yeah, it's sexy.
And it stars the terrific Maggie Gyllenhaal. My goodness. And it also stars Gael Garcia Bernal, who I love from the Motorcycle Diaries.
Is that the
ever seen
dad?
him? He's the poetry teacher. The teacher.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Didn't see it.
Didn't see that.
nope.
Okay. So here's how it works for those of you that are brand new to the channel. We are going to each give our opinion in a minute or less as to whether or not you should or should not see this movie that we're talking about.
Right.
And yeah, who wants to go first?
I always go.
Okay, I'll go first. How's that?
Okay.
Let's switch it up.
Nice.
Okay, so Tom is going to get me on a clock. We're each going to do our minute, and then afterwards we'll give an overall rating as to whether or not you should or shouldn't see it. And then after that, we'll riff on it for about an hour or so. But yeah, that's how it'll go.
Cool.
Cool, Tom?
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
I really like this movie. I thought that it was a pretty fucked up psychological thriller, and I mean, just based on the trailer alone, you're like, okay, this is not gonna be a happy ending.
No.
I thought Maggie Gyllenhaal was incredible. I thought she was just fantastic. I thought that the direction was really good. I really liked the cool tones, the heavy blues, and the just like disgusted feeling I had in my stomach the whole time of this shit is gonna go really, really bad. You know what I'm saying? I thought the kid who played Jimmy was really special. I mean, he didn't have to do a lot. Let's not get crazy. But, you know, when you're dealing with kids,
It's hard.
they're not the most reliable.
Totally.
They're not there yet.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought it was really good. Definitely a must-watch. I think that if you're looking for, if you watched Seven last week and you're like, God, I just really want more of that, this is going to be a softer version. And that's my minute. I went way over.
And some.
10 seconds. Close.
Close.
So close.
Okay,
Well
who wants to
said.
go next?
I'll go.
All right.
I'll time myself.
Time yourself, Tom.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. I don't know if I recommend this movie for everyone. However, I really liked it. I've kind of been an artist in one way, shape, or form my entire life, and I thought that there was many points in this movie where I felt inspired in the beginning, and I thought I was going to get a drama from the trailer. It did have some. It was kind of hinting that it was going to be a thriller, but I was so surprised at how much of a suspense thriller that this movie turned into. It really speaks to the artist that is stuck and can't quite create, and they're desperately seeking something that they don't inherently have. And I thought that it was just really well played and well portrayed on the screen.
That's a minute, Tom.
That's a minute. I'm done.
Okay, good minute, Tom.
Thanks.
Pickles, you want to go next?
Sure. The
Okay,
minute thing is
for the
very anxiety.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a little pressure here.
Yeah,
It makes it
very-
hard.
Very much produces that.
Yes,
feeling.
yes.
All right. Cool.
Okay, you ready?
Ready?
Yeah.
Tom's going to count you down.
I'm going to count you down really official, too.
Oh my God.
Okay? 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. I would definitely recommend this movie. I've always been a fan of Maggie Gyllenhaal. She always makes really fucked up movies. They're always going to make you really uncomfortable in one way, shape, or form. So I kind of knew that going in, but it was one of those movies that you were uncomfortable, like Jeremy said, like that feeling in your stomach, like you felt uncomfortable for her and the kid, and it was just messed up. And yeah, not going to have a good ending. I get the artist thing, but I more so kind of like connected a lot of just like midlife crisis and projection with her own kids, and a lot of just like unhappiness. And, you know, unfortunately, it got taken out on that poor little boy who had a lot of talent, but like good intentions, but really, really sad, you know, ending and story. But would definitely recommend. Really makes you think. And yeah, not for everyone, but definitely worth watching.
Boom. Closer than both of us.
Whoa.
And she's the rookie.
Yeah.
Damn, Tom, we got to pull it together, dude. Watch Michael just smoke this thing.
Right.
I don't think I'll need a whole minute, but let's go.
I know I could have ended earlier. I was like having to.
I'm ready.
Okay.
You ready? You can make up for Jeremy and I maybe.
Yeah, of course.
3, 2, 1, go.
Jen actually summed it up really well. I feel like, love Maggie Gyllenhaal. She's, you know what you're going to get when you see her name as part of a movie. But as far as like the whole, I don't know, like the tortured artist, like she's struggling, the whole midlife crisis thing, it made me feel bad about my life and how uncreative I am, because I've never been like that. I've never been like artistic, or, you know, I can't play an instrument to save my life. But it fucked me up in that sense. But I would definitely 100% recommend watching this. It, again, has to be for the right crowd. If you're into that sort of thing, go for it. But I had to be in a mood, which we just did it. So it's like it just happened. But I had to be kind of sad to watch this to feel even better. But yeah, that's all I got.
Boom.
1 minute on the dot.
No, you technically ended at 59.
Yeah.
59.
Boom. Can I make a joke really quick?
Yes.
Do we have time?
Yep.
Almost. When you said something about your stomach, like, oh, it's got my stomach feeling certain where, I was like, is it your Crohn's?
It could have been, yeah. For the audience at home, I have Crohn's disease, so it might have been that.
I didn't want
and
to
not the
interrupt
movie.
Felt weird.
I would
too.
like to think it was the movie.
Let's
Yeah,
think
no,
it's the movie.
yeah.
You know? It's just
It
hard to
had some-
tell these days,
Yeah,
to
it's
be
some
honest.
eerie parts.
Yeah.
It was uncomfortable.
good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so general consensus. Would we all recommend this movie? We got thumbs up around the board or what?
I got a 1 thumb up.
You got
Yeah,
a 1
same
thumb?
here.
I got a 2 thumbs up.
I got 2.
I got
Okay.
one.
I got
Oh my
one.
God, it's an even split. But I think what you can take away from that is, and correct me if I'm wrong, crew. Okay. What I think you guys can take away from that is you're looking for something and you're like, you know what? I want something fucking dark, but I don't want Requiem for a Dream. Okay. I
Totally.
don't want to go, I don't want to be fucked up for 3
Yeah.
days.
I'd
but I
agree
want to
with
watch
that.
something that when it's over, I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Totally.
So if that's what you're in the mood for, kindergarten teacher, y'all.
Yeah.
That's good.
If you want to see Maggie Gyllenhaal like just slaying it,
And topless a lot.
Yeah.
she's
Topless.
also
Sorry,
topless.
spoiler,
Yeah.
a little moment,
Yeah.
but
Lots of nips.
Per the usual.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
she loves being naked. It's
Yeah.
not
She
really a
loves it.
spoiler.
So if you're feeling that, kindergarten
Boom.
teacher, okay, you guys.
Boom.
Now that we unfortunately went over tonight, but that's okay. We're dialing it in. I'm sure you guys understand.
Yeah.
But that's our
Yeah.
initial take. So if this is all the time you've got, thank you so much for stopping by. We highly recommend the movie. Like, subscribe to the channel. When Cassidy gets back, we're going to have all our social media going, have our website up. So check back then. We're really excited. And I'm also pumped that we're like really building up her return.
I
So
know.
people are going to
Every
come and they're going to be
episode.
like, "Fuck,
There she is.
who is this
Cassidy?
Cassidy? You know?
Yeah.
She's worth the wait. I promise. She is awesome.
Cry, laugh.
But yeah, like, subscribe to the channel if you like what you saw. Argue with us in the comments. Give us some kudos in the comments. Whatever you guys see fit. Tell your friends to subscribe. We're going to be doing a little bit of a promo contest type deal. And the first 100 subscribers are going to be entered into a contest to win some pretty cool shit. We're going to drop that in our next video.
Boom.
If you want to stick around, we're about to dive into the movie as a whole. Right,
Lots of
guys?
spoilers. Lots of
Lots of
spoilers.
spoilers coming up. Okay, so let's dive into this movie. I guess it's kind of hard where to...
Where do you start?
Where do you start?
I mean, the first thing that I picked up on was like, this woman hates her life.
Big time.
Just mundane, like opening the blinds, just sitting there, just like, what has my life become that I can't? This is what I do every day.
Yeah. And,
Instantly, that's the mode I got.
And to like really just like throw some nice icing on that cake, it like shows her like and correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't interacted with a kindergarten teacher in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
I didn't know they had to like clean the toilets in there and stuff.
I mean,
Well, a lot of schools don't really have a bathroom in the room.
But I think kindergarten
they do.
They
like,
do?
and they're little.
Oh, yeah.
They're like extra little for the kids.
Yeah, because
I
they're
did.
kids.
Well,
kids,
we had like a bathroom, but it wasn't in the room.
well, because kindergartners are like just kind of figuring that out. So it's like if they got to go, you want to bring it
That's
as
true.
close to them as you can to
Yeah.
risk an accident. But like to really kind of showcase like how shitty it is.
Right, she's cleaning toilets.
She's like scrubbing the toilet. She's like prepping the Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
Is there meaning to that? No, right?
No, it's snack time.
I thought all that stuff was like really realistic and
Oh, absolutely.
relatable. It's like,
Yeah, it
you
just
know,
hurt.
I mean,
This is your life.
Yeah.
it was like, it just hit me like as, wow, this is so real. You know, like they did such a good job at not like going over the top, and like they just kind of had these shots of like, this is what her life is like. You know, I'm sure we have moments in our day that could be portrayed as kind of dark and sad, you know, like
Me
I mean,
staring off into
you
the
know?
distance while I wait to get my lunch in the lunch line, just like
Yeah.
yeah, dude, that could be a shot of your movie, you know.
Yeah.
It would.
That, you know.
I think a shot in my movie, right, would be like, you know, like I'm like driving to work,
That's
right?
my next one.
And I'm driving to work in complete silence.
Dude,
Just like, you know, like I don't fucking want to put on music. I don't want to fucking listen to a podcast. Like
oh, I have to.
it's like raining out.
That's what-
you know, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what? Fuck this, dude. Like I'll just get there. Just
that
let
was me today.
That's me every day, dude.
Yeah.
We all got problems.
I got that sad moment when I'm waiting for my car to warm up a little bit. I'm just sitting there like not doing anything, and it's
Yeah, dude.
raining, and
Just that's the shot.
I'm like,
That's
oh
the
yeah,
shot.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. You peer in through the windshield wipers, and I'm just like,
Yeah, and that is Michael pulling up the blinds.
7:30
You know?
in the morning. Oh, me throwing on my Harry Potter robe, just like brushing my teeth.
See, I didn't
realistic.
view her
I
life
know.
as sad like that. Like
Oh,
I
I
didn't
instantly
immediately
got it.
go there. I was just like, this is her routine.
Yeah.
And she's busy. She's like having to do her homework on the ferry on the way to
I
class.
thought, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And like, but her like husband seems supportive. She like even shows him
Yeah.
what she wrote. Like it didn't seem like that depressing.
Right.
There was one
until
thing-
the kids got involved, and
Yeah.
then it was like, okay, here's where her
Right.
issues are.
The one thing with
Yeah.
the husband in that moment when he was like, "Will you read it to me?" and I was like, "Oh, Shay." She like grabs the stuff, she looks at it, and she just hands it to him.
Yeah, that was where we really got, you know, because the whole premise of this film, just to kind of really sum it up for you guys, she's a kindergarten teacher, and and she, you know, she's a struggling poet.
Yeah.
Okay, and you know she and we learned that instantly because,
Yeah.
like Tom said, you know, Tom's an artist, I'm an artist. You know, Michael, you're an artist in your own way, dude. Don't you know?
Yeah, don't do that to yourself, man.
Yeah, man.
There's no reason to pet me up from nothing. There's nothing to pet me up from.
You're-
I know I'm not creative.
You're an excellent host on our podcast.
I appreciate that, but I had nothing to do with this. So
Well, we could argue about that until the sun comes up.
I get creative.
Michael has contributed endlessly to Flix and Six.
I'm good at like
just for the
bouncing.
audience.
I'm that person that you want to bounce ideas off of.
Yeah, man.
because I will be like, oh yeah, let's do this crazy one, or like no,
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
that's where I'm good.
I like that. I think
that's about what I
The
got.
world needs people like that.
Yeah,
Thank you,
you
Tom.
know?
Yeah,
I can be
And there's art in
crazy
there.
and
It's just
realistic.
not just like what people would actually put a label on art.
Yeah,
Right.
that's one of my words is realistic from the thing today.
Mm-hmm.
Realistic.
Yeah.
but instantly
Same here.
when the husband's like, you know, because you can tell he's like kind of reluctant to even ask her, right? Like he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, like, have you been writing? And she's like, eating her food, like, yeah. And he's like, wanna let me
You want to read one to me?
wanna read it? You know? And she's like,
Oh, she kept like eating for a second.
yeah, it
too.
was a long,
Yeah.
like, and she's like, you know, and
Yeah.
then he reads it and he's like, this is good. And she's obviously like really struggling because it's like getting a lot of shit in class. And my teacher says that I need to make it more personal
Yeah.
and blah, blah, blah. And it's weird because I'm not a poet. Okay. Like I like to think I can
derivative.
write. I'm not a poet. Okay. But I could even tell that her poems were like very mechanical and busy and just not
Busy's a good
Trying
word.
too hard.
yeah, they're not good.
Yeah, no,
Right.
they weren't.
So anyways, so that's Maggie Gyllenhaal. She's in class and you know, we realized the husband's like super cool, dude.
Yeah,
And
not to go. Oh, sorry.
who played that
You're on
guy?
a-
I liked him.
He was the guy.
Oh yeah, Michael Chernus.
I like him. He was
He-
in Orange Is the New Black.
Yes.
too.
And
That's
what else?
what he's,
He's-
from. That was driving
He's
me crazy.
Piper's brother.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
He's the like weird brother.
Yeah, I really like him though.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom, what you got, man?
Not to go too deep right away,
No, we're going deep
You
this
know.
whole time, bro.
but how she has so much self-doubt with her poetry and she's struggling with art just speaks a lot to like her whole life
Yeah.
as a whole. Just like where she's at in life, and it's like an identity crisis. You know, like she doesn't know who she is, so by not knowing who she is, she's unable to, you know, create art, which is like that theme is kind of throughout
The entire
film.
thing.
And you know, she like steals this mask, you know, and becomes a person she's not. Anyways, I don't want to get too deep into it, but just the way that the director and the writer set up the character from that first little scene with just how, you know, uncomfortable she is with sharing her art. That little scene meant so much for what happens later.
Boom.
You know?
Well said, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Pickles really. Oh, you know what I just realized?
Oh.
Well, audience, I should probably disclaim, even though it's a little late in the game, but we call Jen Pickles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that you did
Yeah.
it.
It's a nickname that happened. Who was it? Dallas? Was
I
he
don't
the
Gotta be.
originator? It's
Probably-
got to be.
That's
right?
It's
how
gotta
it
be.
stuck.
Yeah, Dallas, a buddy of ours, we'll have him on the show, but he called her Pickles one time, and it stuck like glue.
Yeah.
I mean,
Lunch
Yeah.
at work, she just
I really
raved.
wanted pickles.
she
They were
really-
out of pickles on sandwich day, and it was extremely depressing.
The rest is history.
and the
is
rest
history.
is history.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Pickles nailed it, though, in her minute, because she said it's not just the starving artist. It's not just the, like,
True.
struggling mom. It's, like,
Absolutely.
midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Full-on identity crisis.
Yeah.
Like, who am I? I obviously, she's kind of like, she's been a kindergarten teacher for, what, 25
20
years?
years.
20
20
years?
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, there's
That's a
not-
lot of time.
That's a long time. There's not a lot of identity there.
No.
And so we find out she's going to these poetry classes, right?
Yeah.
And Gael Garcia Bernal is the teacher, and I thought he was terrific because,
He was pretty good.
you know, like, raise your hand if you've taken a poetry class or two.
No,
Why
I've
would
been
I
too
do
Never?
scared
that?
to.
Oh man.
No.
Okay. Well, Tom. Yeah, you've got
Poetry
some.
spins me out.
I mean,
Yeah, I think I overthink it.
it's in
Me
there.
too.
Yeah, I loved poetry, but here's why I loved it the most, and this movie just further reinforced that. It is the easiest class you can take
No.
because you literally can't be wrong. You
True.
know,
That
like
is-
you'll read
that's
it,
valid, I
and like
guess.
people are like,
Damn.
you know, I don't know if I agree with the perspective you chose,
Hence the
But-
my pussy's.
but
Oh my
like,
god.
but the imagery
So good.
that you decided was actually quite refined, you know. And
Yeah.
it's like, dude, I wrote a poem about my fucking cat like drinking milk in the morning, you know, or whatever. I don't, bad example,
But you wrote it from the perspective like of the milk.
yeah, or like, yeah, exactly, right? But that's it. It's so subjective,
That'd be actually
Yeah.
kinda cool.
right? That
Right.
it's like even if like you throw it out there and you had this one idea in your head and every single person in there gets it wrong, the teacher's going to be like, good job, class. I like
Yeah.
that. Because all you have to do is think.
God, what an easy
Yeah.
job.
Yeah. I wrote that in my notes. I wrote,
I would do that for a job.
yeah, poetry teacher has got to be the easiest job, the easiest gig ever. Because all he does, like a student like reads their poem and then he goes, what do you guys think?
Right.
That's it. That's his
The
life.
group does all the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And he's like, well, you read, I never said you couldn't do that.
Right.
And the one guy got all pissed. He's like, well, that's not right. And he's like,
That's not fair.
what's wrong?
Yeah. And then he's like, well, I want my poets to not do what I say.
Right.
So it's like, okay, great. So even if you're you fucking, here's your assignment and you do this,
You better do something
instead,
And
you
it's
know,
still good.
it's
Right.
still like decent.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Then he's like, I like that you stepped outside of the box on that
Right,
one. You
right,
know? And
yeah.
you're like, yeah, that's all I was doing.
Yeah.
It's not that I wrote this literally 10 minutes before I got here.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah, and
I
it's not
think
that I heard your assignment and was like, "This assignment sucks. I'm going to do my own thing."
Right.
Yeah.
They
that
just
was
get
like
validated no matter what.
Exactly.
That was like the second poem that she shared, and I think after the first time he like noticed her, and that's when like that sexual tension with him, at least him towards her initially. Began,
let's
but-
stop.
That part was extremely random in the movie. Like, I don't think it was necessary.
I think it made a lot of sense to me.
It did. It made a lot
Well,
of sense
yeah,
to
it
me,
made
too.
sense because like it like portrays like just how unhappy she is. But
Yeah.
I just don't like.
To
I
me,
don't know. Like, I just
I'm
didn't
gonna
think
go
it was
there.
like super necessary.
Take us there, Tom. So
to me, it was like she was wearing this mask, right, of this little, 5.5-year-old kid, his talent. She was wearing that mask, and she knew what she was going to do. She knew she was going to have him attend this poetry meeting,
have Jimmy attend.
have
The kid.
Jimmy, the 5-year-old kid, attend instead of her. And she kind of wanted to ride this success or this feeling of talent. She's like, wow, like this guy is so turned on by it. And she kind of became Jimmy and his talent for a second. And so due to the fact that she didn't have much of an identity of her own at that point, she just easily crossed over. It was like her
Stole
last
his.
moment to like embrace Jimmy and his talents because she knew she was going to unveil him as the source of all this poetry.
Let me get it in while I
Dude,
can.
That's exactly it.
Right?
That you nailed it. Because when so Jimmy's the kid, and he's like this totally talented poet, right? And Maggie Gyllenhaal's in her class, and she's writing these like shitty poems, and her teacher's like, okay, yeah, pretty good, but try and be better, And then she hears Jimmy rattle off this poem, and she's like, fucking, what was that? Oh my God, this poem is beautiful, right? So she brings that poem to class, catches the attention of her teacher, right? Just to bring the,
Right.
So what sold me on this scene is that,
Are we still talking about the sex scene?
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
what sold me on the scene was like, okay, if you're a poetry teacher, you're kind of out there already, right?
Oh my God.
and like artists, like when you're like in this like create, right, but like you take off your lab coat, right, and then like you're just kind of a regular human being, right? It's like, damn, like what you said the other day, it like really got me going, and then he goes to kiss her, right, and she's into it. She's into that kiss, right? Because you see her, I was watching very closely. Okay.
Yeah.
You see her lips like crack a little smile, and then she's like,
Right. Yeah.
right? And then he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, and like
Yeah.
he spins over here, and it's like this whole dramatic thing, and I was like, God, this is really tense, right?
Yeah.
But then like they're talking about the poems, and she's like, oh, so you like my poem, huh?
Well, she reads her own,
Yes.
and he like says it's shit.
He brushes it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Good, not your
So
best.
what
she
did
was
he
like
say?
her.
Oh,
He,
yeah,
like,
good.
he
not
almost
your
like makes it
best.
sound like you reverted back to
Right.
how
Right.
you were.
It's like when you
because
first
it was
started,
hers.
So
Right.
then, as Maggie Gyllenhaal, right? She's
like
like,
sheds her
she's
own
like,
skin.
okay, you thought that was mediocre? Come here and let me give you what you want, then.
Right.
Because my last poem was clearly not what you want.
my God.
So she distracts him. She distracts him with,
Yeah.
little fucking, little bang sesh.
Yeah.
Right, and then
She,
all of a
like,
sudden-
spread her legs
Yeah,
open.
dude. Yeah,
and-
dude.
Oh, the second she did that on the couch, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's on.
Oh, it's
I
on.
know.
And she like
It's
grabbed
on.
his shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, they
Little-
fucking.
The little
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, dude.
let
Oh,
me
shit.
play with that chest hair. moment.
Yeah.
What is it about poetry teachers that are always have this little like crazed sex? Like, there's another film out there, or a couple other films where the poetry teacher in school is having sex with their students.
Drop it. What are you talking about?
I don't know what films
don't
they
remember?
are.
Oh, you don't
but
remember.
if you know,
Yeah, leave
comment.
it in the comments.
Yeah, please, because my memory just doesn't serve me justice whatsoever, as we know.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is like, because Maggie Gyllenhaal, like during her audition, I kind of pictured them like, okay, we want to hear how you pronounce consonants, right? Because she hits like some really sharp S's and some really hard T's, right?
When they're doing the
when
letters.
she's teaching?
When she just and throughout the whole film, she's hitting like hard S's, you know?
Yeah.
And like it's very like, and she's talking and she's like reading this poem and like her eyes kind of droop a little bit and she's like vulnerable and she's dropping these S's. And all of a sudden it's like, yeah,
I didn't catch it.
oh, I got it. Did you catch it, Tommy? You with me, bro?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It didn't stand out to me like as.
I think she.
I know what you're talking about.
It got me going a little bit. Like I'm like, okay, I get it.
I just thought she was talking pretty normal. She was a little bit slowed than like her other roles, I feel like, but I didn't really catch on it. But I
felt the S's, man. I felt it.
Okay, I'll give you that.
She has lots of sex appeal to Jeremy.
Apparently, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm not fantasizing about her.
Ever
right now,
since
so maybe
Donnie
that's
Darko,
why.
dude.
Her little moves are magnified for you, man.
That's true, dude.
You know,
I'm zoomed in on
Hershey's.
this shit,
Secretary?
dude.
Oh my
Is
God.
in that one?
Which one?
Secretary?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Yeah, so it's not my fault.
no,
Right? Her
no,
work has
no.
done this.
She minds
I'm a
that.
product of having seen her films at very
And her boobs.
developmental stages of my life.
Yeah.
And you never
Right.
forget
Her boobs.
her anything.
She's just great.
She's really good. Okay, so we got a lot of routes we can take here. I want to kind of like sum up the film and then let's dissect the psychology of it a little bit, okay?
Oh God.
So, long story short, because it would take me about an hour and 37 minutes to tell this entire story.
Yeah.
Long story short, she sees this talent in Jimmy that she does not have within herself. She becomes obsessed with him. You know, she starts like really overstepping her bounds with this kid. You know, she's like calling him. What?
Yeah.
She's like fucking
5-year-old
babysitting him, like all this shit. His dad, Jimmy's dad, is like, look, I want him to be a normal dude. I want to make him more than $50,000 a year, like blah blah blah. I don't want him to be an artist. You know, my brother's an artist. Fucking look at him, right?
Loser.
Yeah, total loser, right? Because he's like making $50,000 doing what he loves or whatever.
Yeah, like a newspaper or something.
And so she gradually like gets weirder and weirder and creepier and more detached and like hates her kids and like, you know, she's cheated on her husband and all this, and it all kind of it crescendos with her like pretty much not pretty much. She kidnaps Jimmy.
Oh yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
takes him to the lake. She's like, I just want you to read your poems. I want to write your poems down and blah blah blah. And then she gets busted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we'll dive into more and more of that, but I think the biggest kind of question, or kind of at least what I was reflecting on the most with this, is like the way, you know, because her struggle, you know, because like it would be an easy judgment to be like, yo, this bitch crazy.
Yeah.
Right? It's a snap judgment. It's
Yeah.
like, this
Yeah.
chick's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Which obviously a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. She's got some
But
missing marbles.
Where it comes from is a place that I can totally understand. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think
Very
that
relatable.
she sees this kid who's just incredibly talented, and she sees the outcome that society has had on her, on her kids, right?
Yep.
And she doesn't want that to happen to him.
Right.
And she's projecting so hardcore
So
onto
hard.
this kid, like, I'm trying to save myself and provide myself the future I wish I had had as the present. Right?
Yeah.
So that was my take, and I thought that when there was one part where, you know, she's dealing with her kids who suck, right? Like she's like,
I don't think they suck.
I think they suck.
They're just teenagers. They're doing their own thing. I don't think they suck, but
Here's what made me
Go
think
ahead.
they suck, right? Is that dad and mom are like chefing up this dinner, right? And they like order a pizza and like eat it outside. Yo, I'll be real with you guys right now. If I pulled a stunt like that at the Miller house growing up,
Yeah, no, it wouldn't go down.
Well, no, I don't think any of us would ever do that.
that's what makes me say they're shitty.
No, I get that, but it's like, I don't know. I've seen people do it, and like parents are just like,
Right.
you know.
And then it makes you wonder, like, well, no shit, you're in the spot you're in.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think
But-
it was trying to show a little bit of an exaggerated portrayal of like how teenagers are right now, always on
Sure.
their phones, always with their friends, not really telling telling their parents where they're going,
Yeah.
smoking weed in their parents' backyard, just like like it's fine.
Yeah, fucking pool
Giving
rager.
handies and shit out there.
I mean, they could have easily like shown them like at the dinner table, and the kids
Yeah.
just like on their phones the whole time.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah, exactly.
same message
Yeah.
would have been
Exactly.
portrayed.
Totally,
Yeah.
totally.
But they
Like-
made them look very bratty
Yeah.
and like, you know.
I mean, the girl even called her mom like, "You guys are supposed to be these hippie blah 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 blah." So it's like, how far did they kind of let it get?
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
with the
Exactly.
kids themselves, and it's like now she's like trying to like backpedal.
Yes,
Like, fuck.
exactly. Exactly.
Like I let that passion
Yeah.
that my kids had die out because of society, and it all comes
Right.
back
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah, and it made me think like I really liked her perspective on what it is to be an artist in these times
Sure.
because like
It's hard.
I feel like like you know she's talking to her daughter and she's like, you know, like you took that photography class and you were like really good and like your dad's got that camera, why don't you take it out and take some pictures? And she's
Yeah.
like, I post on Instagram like every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that unfortunately is like what constitutes photography
Yeah.
I
in
know.
some, you know,
I know.
arenas or whatever.
And that's
And
factual.
That sucks.
Yep.
It's what happens.
I think I just want to go back to your synopsis that you
Please.
gave.
Yeah.
I think it was really good. And I think you nailed it, except I think her character is so deep.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sitting here trying to put words on, you know, what I really think, but I think the writer and director left, you know, she gave us like little bits of this and that. It was hard. It's hard to really, you know, pinpoint what it was.
Yeah.
You know, with the information that we're given. Gosh. So like that's why I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
But it's like I don't know if it's just projection onto him. In a sense, I you know, that it's definitely that, but why? You know, like
Right.
it's just like her
'Cause
characters.
it could be her unhappy with herself or
Right.
unhappy with how she raised her children or the poetry aspect. I mean,
You know what's funny
It's
is
just
that all these
weird.
questions that we're like asking is all what you would kind of expect to have being talked about in like a poetry class. Like, but what did you mean by this? But what is this?
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
why? Why did you say that? Why did you choose this
Oh,
word? Why
shit,
was this
Mike.
duplicated? Literally, the film is like what's the word? Oh God. It's like, it's poetic in
Yeah.
a sense.
Yeah.
Because you
It
don't
is.
know.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and I think that maybe
that explains
that
it
makes
more
a
than
lot of
anything.
sense. Yeah.
It's like you
of like
don't know if it's like Jen said, the actual poetry. Is it her kids? Is it her husband? Is it her job? Like
Yeah.
her age? You don't know. Nothing
Yeah.
is ever said,
No.
but everything was said at the same time.
right.
And
It's very poetic.
And who the poem that Jimmy gives her in the end
Fuck.
at the lake.
Oh, that one was dark.
Yeah, very
Oh,
deep.
yeah.
Can we get that pulled up and read that?
Dude, I tried to Google it, man.
Man,
I couldn't.
wrote down
No.
one line. So she like abandoned her family.
I'm
you
going
know?
to.
You
Yeah,
said-
she made a nice. You
I'm
gonna hit
I'm
Google?
gonna open my phone and
To-
put it on mute and let it run through, and I'll write it down.
Yeah, Jimmy says
'Cause it was dark.
Yeah,
It's
Jimmy
very
said I caught one of the last lines. The road is so far ahead, it's already behind.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like Jimmy knew what she was going through. He knew her
Yes.
struggle.
Yeah.
He could see through all of this, even though he's only 5.5 years old
Yeah, that
and
was
in
an
kindergarten.
even weirder part of the whole movie.
Yeah, but
And
and then,
he put ethics in.
yeah on her.
On her.
Well, and the craziest I love the ending.
Love the
The
Oh my
ending
God, it was perfect.
Oh, so good.
sick.
Perfect.
Because so she kidnaps Jimmy and they're out in fucking the boonies, dude,
Yeah.
at some lake, and he hits her with this fucking poem, right? Like they're swimming and their whole little agreement is, you know, if you have a poem, Jimmy, tell me and I'll write it, you know? So they're swimming and he's like, I have a poem,
Yeah.
right? And he hits her with this fucking dark poem.
Screamer. Best one yet.
Oh, it was the banger, dude.
Yeah.
And
Like
and then afterwards, like, you know, he showers then, and that's weird. And then she goes in the shower and he locks her ass in there and he's like, I need help. And she like tells him to call 911.
Yeah, she
And
like
then
instructs him how to call 911.
Right.
Like there's never any like ill intent to this boy, but
No.
there is.
But there-
it's so weird.
There is, but she doesn't want there to be.
I know.
Like she only wants it to be about the poetry.
Yeah.
And
But she knows it's not
sounds
just
crazy,
about that.
like, and she knows, like, the more I say it's about the poetry, the crazier I'm going to seem. So I can't stress so much that it's about the poetry, right?
Yeah.
And so then he calls the cops, and then, like, you know, she says something to him, and he lets her out.
Yeah, that's a really, like, I think beautiful moment where she's like crouched in the bathroom and they're on either side of the door of each other,
yeah.
and she's just like, look, I'm trying to save you from what I've lost my kids to and what I lost myself to, which is this terrible society. And in 3 years, you're not going to, like, have this gift anymore, basically. And you're going to lose all of this talent because of what society's going to do to you. And that's what she's trying to, like, save him from. And then she's like, you know, can I please come out and put some clothes on? The cops are coming.
Yeah.
And he lets her out. And I think it's an even more beautiful moment when, like, she just gets dressed super, like, calmly, and then he just, like, goes up to her and holds her hand. Like, it's a very confusing dynamic between the two of them, because he's just called the cops on her, but he also knows that she cares for him and is, like, trying to help him.
And he's trying to help her.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's very...
By putting an end to all this,
Yeah.
because he's like, he can sense that she's losing it.
Like, he's fucking 5,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And he's like, I know,
Yeah.
but you also know that this can't be.
Yeah.
And
Pretty
she's
much.
like, fuck, you're right, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Right? And then, you know, so they're like, put him in the cop car. And he's like, I have a poem.
Yeah.
I
The
have a
windows
poem.
rolling up.
And nobody fucking listens.
Oh my god,
That's lost.
I was like, write it down.
It's
I
lost.
know. Someone write it
It's
down.
lost forever.
It's lost. And her line,
Her greatest fear
when she was
is
crouching
that.
behind the door, she said, this world will erase you. You'll be a shadow just like me.
Yeah.
And boom, there it was.
And there it is.
And there it is.
Yeah.
So it's like, she's not like a villain. But
No.
you know, like, that it's not cool,
It's
though.
not cool, though.
One thing I had in mind, you know, and I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but so she takes him to this poetry reading, right, in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And she, like, yanks him out of his baseball practice, totally, like, disobeys everything, right?
Yeah.
Breaks tons of laws.
Kidnaps this kid, takes him to this fucking
Again.
poetry reading, right? He kills, right? And reveals that Anna, who's been a central theme in all his poems, she was hoping that she would be Anna. And it wasn't. It was Megan, the fucking teacher's assistant.
Yeah,
Ooh,
the TA.
dude. Bummer.
And the way she reacted, too.
She stormed off stage.
Stormed off crying.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
What
Fuck.
did that mean? What does that mean? This character is
wanted-
so deep.
She's deep, dude.
Like,
she wanted
what
she
the hell?
She wanted to be Anna so bad, and you could tell, like,
Yeah.
when she was coaching him on how to read his poems.
Could be
She's like,
anything.
Anna could be anything or anybody.
Right.
It could be a small
It could be
bird.
anybody, right? Or it could be a thing, you know. And he's like, yeah, it's Megan, and it just deflates her, right?
Yeah.
Man,
But
I
what's
d-
interesting is that she does all that, and the dad's like, whatever. I'm gonna just take him to a different school, right? That's kind of where it lost me a little bit. And here's the
Really?
only reason. The only reason is that up until this point, I'm like, this is very realistic. I could see this shit. If this shit happened in 2019, right,
Oh,
it
yeah.
would have fucking hit Twitter, dude. And then she would have
my
been
gosh.
exiled to fucking Canada.
Fired, never be a teacher again.
No,
Never,
yeah.
never.
Nothing.
Never.
By the time she, like, wants to make that beautiful goodbye dinner for her family, she's fucking been tweeted all the way to Canada
Premeditated
without any
Twitter.
career ahead.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? So the fact
Yeah.
that he was just like,
That's
you
a
know,
good
let's
point.
just switch schools. Let's not, like, press charges or, like, get her
Yeah.
fired or, like, post it on the internet.
Right. He didn't cause any sort of a stink.
No.
And it's like,
Yeah.
this was in, like,
he's not a
present
good
moment.
dad.
Well, yeah,
That's
why.
true.
he's
That's
a very
true.
absent
He's-
father.
that's
That's a good
He's
point.
not. He doesn't care that much.
That's
Right.
He's
Yeah.
like, this was weird. I'm
Eh.
gonna,
I gotta get to
do
the
what I
club.
can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Club's opening soon. Gotta go.
Yeah.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah,
That's
he doesn't
true.
do things the right way.
No,
No.
he's just, and that was her fear. That's why she wanted to protect him, because she could sense that there was no way that anything was going to become of his talent
No
with
one was
in a
there.
family, in a household like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I really like her character.
I do too.
I admire it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a.
I wouldn't go as far as saying admire.
I
think
admire
it's-
her intentions.
I respected her character. I will
Safe.
say that.
Safe.
I understand a
That was
lot
my
of her
point.
character, but not all of it. it's still, I still like want to spitball it with you guys. You know, like
That's why we're here, Tom.
Let's figure that thing out.
Well, how about this? Because I believe Michael has the poem.
I do have the poem. It took me a second, but I have it.
Damn,
Look
that
at
was
Michael,
fast.
dude.
That
Great
thing came
job.
out of nowhere.
Did you
It was
put it
like
on
a magic trick.
Like the
I put subtitles mute
subtitle?
and then pause, play,
you're
pause,
smart.
play, pause, play.
Michael Harness, you guys.
Michael
See,
Harness.
this is
This
the
is-
artist
This is
in
our
you.
creative genius.
This is your creative genius, Michael.
But you even said, like, between you and I, like, masters of, like, tech and how to finagle YouTube and all that stuff. So maybe in that sense I am. I don't know.
There's something there, Mike.
Something there,
I'm
man.
gonna kidnap your ass, take you to a fucking lake, go swimming with you, and I'll write down whatever you say.
Yeah.
And I'll lock you in the bathroom.
Lock me in,
Yeah.
dude, but only
Call
after
the
we
cops.
shower.
We shower.
Oh, you
separately.
shower first,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
he showers. Then you have to be.
And I'll make sure to ask you, hey, Michael, is the water too
Why
hot?
was there a lock on the
I
outside
know
of the door?
that was the one
Just hit me
flaw
out
that I
of
was
nowhere.
like, "There's never a lock on the outside of the
It was an
bathroom."
old place.
It
you
literally
know?
just hit
It's
me.
old.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, I
that
remember
doesn't
being
make-
like, "How did he lock on the outside?"
But the
'cause
phone was super.
The plot wouldn't work otherwise.
It wasn't a.
It was a cordless
It was a
hotel
cordless phone, like,
in the
what
oldest
hotel
hotel
has a
room I've
cord-
ever seen.
Yeah, what hotel
yeah,
room
they
has a
went wrong there.
cordless
Yeah,
phone?
those two things were a little
Because people are gonna steal that shit.
yeah,
Oh,
or
in a
lose it,
New
or
York
break
minute,
it.
dude.
Yeah,
Well,
Should I recite
Yes.
the
Yeah,
poem?
None of
Mike,
that
why don't
stuff
you go
bothered
ahead
me.
and just kind of crack an egg of knowledge on us and fucking let's go dark here.
All right. This is the last poem that was said. Anna, get up. Remember, loneliness is still time spent with the world. Here's the room with everyone in it. Your dead friends passing through you like wind through a wind chime. Don't be afraid, Anna. The end of the road is so far ahead. It is already behind us. That shit. I want to like type this up and frame it somewhere because that's dope.
that's super sick. And he called her Anna. in
yeah.
this
Now
one.
she's Anna. I think
You know?
you know.
Yeah, she is now Anna because he felt bad.
That's what. Oh, I did not even go there.
I'm just going there right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's what
no,
I'm thinking too.
I always thought
the
she
new
was
Anna.
Anna. I always thought
yeah.
she was Anna.
I see. I did too, and the fact that like I think the kid took what she said. Like Anna could be anyone, and I think the kid just was like, "Oh, it's my other teacher."
yeah, I think he just picked
just
someone.
randomly picked someone,
Yeah.
and that was that. And I think she just completely read into it, overreacted.
Yeah.
And I think she's been Anna the whole time. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
God, I
A
just
new
read
Anna?
this again and it's fucking with me,
It's
guys.
so
good.
I don't
It's a
think it's
good
dark.
one. It's
It's
not
so
dark.
good.
I don't think it's dark.
It's a good message, though.
Yeah, it's really like okay, so I just read it again. Okay.
It has a dark tone to
it's
it.
it's
okay?
a very dark tone.
It
but
has
I
a
think
good message.
The
for
message
sure.
is like, dude, Anna, like fucking Lisa, man,
yeah.
like shit's fucked up, right? Like you're all alone right now, but like all that shit, like your
It's early
teacher
behind you.
and the other students that are like giving you shit for your poems, man. Your dead friends passing through you like wind through a wind chime.
So
you
good.
know, like let that shit pass through, dude. Like the end, because she thinks like if she doesn't make something of this kid, her life will end having had no purpose.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think what Jimmy's trying to say is like, dude, that's not the case. You just can't go about it like this, man. You can't kidnap my ass. You know, but like we could still do something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, find that in yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
He already knew at that point playing when he was in the lake.
This fucking kid is Mozart, dude.
Dude.
Jesus Christ.
And there's probably a kid
Yeah.
out there that does shit like this.
oh, dude, totally.
So if your
man.
kid,
If
Yeah.
your kid's like fucking rattling off poems, pacing back and
Pacing
forth,
around, yeah.
make
Write
your
that shit
babysitter
down.
fucking work for a living, get out of the goddamn booty shorts, and fucking transcribe the
No.
goddamn poem.
Yeah. Totally.
I agree.
The
was that the
this-
girlfriend?
This is hard. This is hard.
They were fucking.
Yeah, something was weird with that. She's like, yeah, I know him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I work part time.
Becca,
Yeah,
the
she's got, like,
babysitter,
this
and
weird
Jimmy's
hand
dad
thing.
were 100% fucking.
And you
Yeah.
got a new blonde
Oh,
one
yeah.
real quick.
Real
Oh, yeah.
quick.
They were a
Yeah.
thing.
New bouncer.
The that scene that we talked about earlier where her reaction to the poetry and how much she's been struggling with, you know, writing poetry herself, I have a question to see if you guys know the answer. Did she mention that she's been struggling with poetry her entire life?
No,
Never.
Right?
it was never said. I don't know, because at one point she said she's like her daughter was like asking about the classes, and she was like, continuing education courses. Like it almost seemed like she didn't really.
Like
it
she
didn't
took
matter.
it on
It's
a
just
whim.
Yeah, I was like, I have to do this, and then she got like defeated or something. I don't know.
So her whole family's kind of, her kids have disconnected. Like there's this sense of separation between
Big time.
Oh yeah,
her
Big
family. It doesn't seem like anything's necessarily wrong with her and her husband.
No,
Which is interesting.
it is because they
That's
seem
why I
okay.
thought
they're
the-
gonna
the
fuck on the
sleep-
couch.
Yeah,
They
that's
were
why I
gonna
thought the
fuck.
like a fair part was like, oh, like I don't
Why?
know, like why that? You
Just
know?
to be dangerous.
I
or
think
like,
yeah,
just
because
to be
like
that
what you
person
said,
for a
midlife
second.
crisis.
Well, yeah,
She hit
but
it.
Yeah.
that
She
was
hit
the
a point.
one area that was like pretty good.
like we've seen the outcome of a midlife crisis, right? In so many words, because she found, she's teaching kindergarten for 20 fucking years. She's like, I have no purpose, right? I'm going to take a poetry class.
Yeah.
Right? And the
Yeah.
teacher even said, like, after, Jimmy read his poems and the teacher like found out that she didn't write those poems, that it was Jimmy. He was like, dude, he fucking served her up with
yeah.
some
Hell
hot
yeah.
reality cocoa, dude.
Yeah, he was pissed.
He was like,
Don't
dude,
come back.
he's like, dude,
You are not invited to come
you're
back.
not an artist.
Yeah.
You're just really passionate about the arts, right? And I was like, oh fuck, dude, because
He said that,
He said that.
Yeah.
He
I didn't catch
said,
that.
I don't know if I wrote it, but
but that's a jab.
yeah, he said.
But it's also a reality check.
Or he was like, you cling to the artist. Or
You're not an artist.
catch that
You're
part.
an appreciator, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
and
even
I put a
worse.
frown face there.
yeah.
An
Appreciator.
An appreciator, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's like, and that like, and to me, so it was like, okay, so that fueled the fire of like, it's not even about the poetry,
No.
right? It's really about what it is. It's success, right? It's about connection. It's about having something more than just what she has inside. And I feel like, man, that bummed me out because it's like, dude, you could, even if you feel like you don't have like that niche, right? Like that one thing about you, like, there's still there's something about everybody that adds value.
Oh yeah.
And I wish like she'd seen it and the husband saw it, and that's why he's so supportive of her.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get all Tony Robbins on this shit, but like,
This
but
is
it's like,
so my day today.
yeah, like and I feel it all the time.
Just the big theme of like purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally, that's been all that I've talked about all day today, and it reigns true into home life.
Yeah.
So
Well,
here
and
we
like
are.
where this took me is kind of dark, y'all. But like, hey, let's get real, okay? But like,
Yeah.
you guys know me, right? For those who don't, I love movies. I've written a bunch,
Movies.
right?
Yeah.
And we haven't made one yet,
No.
right?
Right.
And I often go to this place of like, I wonder if I'm not really an artist, but rather I'm an appreciator. And, just to throw a little comedy into that, because it's kind of a dark thought. What they say about movie critics is that movie critics are just people who can't make movies.
Yeah.
And here we are in a
It's
movie
like-
critic podcast.
What's the saying? Like those who do can, those who can't teach.
Yep.
Something along those lines.
And those who can't teach PE.
right.
There
Right.
it is.
Exactly.
No offense to the PE teachers. I fucking loved my PE teachers
I
growing
hated
up,
mine.
just to throw it out there. But I think that's a lot of the symbolism is like, yeah, there's a lot of themes like, like look at what social media and the internet and all this bullshit's done to creativity. Sure, but like this is just an ordinary person, just grasping at anything she can to add meaning to her life.
For sure.
Bummer.
Just living in Jersey.
I have a thought. The moment where her daughter snaps on her at the party.
Oof.
Brutal.
You learn a lot about Lisa's character. That she struggles, with schooling. It seems like she struggles in life. Like she has to try so hard. And I don't think that she's just speaking about her recent poetry class. I think she's talking about a long track record of struggling.
Yeah, she's tried this hobby, that hobby, that hobby.
Yeah.
None of them bite.
None of them
Yeah.
bite. And so, and here she is struggling with poetry, and these two things just happen to align.
Yep.
I don't think it has to do with her, being this this person that's been following poetry her whole life or anything like that. It's just she just understands at the planets align. She is taking a random poetry class and she's trying really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then she sees this kid who just has this natural, just amazing talent, and it's the thing that contrast there is what drives her to this madness.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
No, you nailed it, dude.
That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
She's not like this, suppressed poet who finally has her shot to like save someone from her own fate.
No, yeah.
She's just like an ordinary person.
Bored mom.
Bored, lonely, right? And like doesn't find like that purpose within herself, right? And like her kids, like, God damn it, dude. Like her daughter said some fucked up shit, dude.
Yeah.
And she goes around to the front of the house because they're in the backyard, and she like lights up a cigarette, right? And for the
some
smokers,
good air.
we're all former smokers, and
I want to
so
get some air.
it was like
I need to get some air.
Yeah.
immediately
In that
like
face.
The reset button.
the reset, because she
Yeah.
goes out and
All
she's
right.
like
All
her
right.
daughter says some fucking mean things, like things that you can't just apologize for,
Yeah.
right? Like you can move past it, but those thoughts that her daughter put in her head,
Yeah.
those are keeping her up at night. She
She's
goes
keeping
around to the
herself
front.
up with those same thoughts.
Exactly.
And it's just like
Right.
thanks a
And she
lot.
goes and lights a smoke. And like immediately she's like, she's just acting out. No big deal.
Yeah.
Right. But
Little
and then
She
but
knows.
one other thing that I really appreciated is that because I thought this movie was going to go in a silly direction of like she reads his poem in class and people like do fucking backflips and they're like, oh my God. And she like blows up as a poet. And then at the
Oh.
end, they find out like it was Jimmy. I was like, don't
I
go
would've
there.
hated that.
Don't go there with that. Like The
Yeah.
Ringer, right?
Yeah.
With Johnny Knoxville.
Yep,
like so
yep.
many of these movies where they're like a fake the whole time.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
Wedding Crashers. Like every fucking comedy, right?
Right.
Thank
where it's
God
like-
it didn't go there.
I'm so grateful
I'd've been
that like
mad.
his poem was just good.
Yeah.
And when you find out it came out of a fucking 5-year-old, then it's amazing, right? But I liked that it was just a good poem,
Yeah.
right? What else do we have to tap into in this? Anything?
Oh man.
I mean, we could go on and on, but
Yeah,
What
I've
else?
tapped a lot.
yeah. Tom, we've got tons of notes,
I
dude.
know,
I mean,
man. Honestly, we covered
Oh, man.
covered a lot.
you know what broke my heart? When after Jimmy did his poetry reading, he was like, they clapped for me.
Yeah.
And she started crying because she's like, fuck, man, I just want people to clap for me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I found this talent. Like
Right.
why
Like,
aren't they acknowledging
clapping?
me?
Why can't I be Jimmy?
Yeah.
Because you
That was-
kidnapped him.
Right.
was-
Because you're just not.
That was the moment when the mask was completely gone for her.
Absolutely.
She didn't have that identity to hide behind
Yep.
anymore.
Yeah.
That
Boy,
was
this is
and
fucking
she
deep.
was crying and I had that question. I'm like, is she crying? Is she really crying because she's not Anna? I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. And that was the other thing that I came up with, that it was a combination of both of those things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought, God, this movie is the writer and they just perfectly placed scenes, but like there's very little, but there's enough there to like come to a conclusion.
Right. Because when he says like Anna's Megan, right?
Yeah.
And she starts crying and then like they clap for me, right? And she's crying. I think it was like, okay, not only am I not the poet that's receiving the acclaim right now at the poetry reading, but I'm also not Anna. So she thought like in her mind, like if I can't be a good poet, but I raised Mozart, right? And I'm the reason that he finds his success, then I know that I've had a purpose. But then, so when he's getting all the applause and when she finds out that she's not even Anna,
Yeah.
the person that he's been, writing poetry about, then it's like, so she's literally just nothing, which is exactly what she's trying to avoid being. Okay. We're going to pause real quick. Sorry about the breaks. We're trying to debug some camera issues.
It's a little problem, no big deal.
Yeah, we usually have Max here. You guys know Max. He's our tech savvy genius that runs the control booth. And Max is not here right now because he's working. And so I'm doing it, and it's I miss Max. You guys miss Max or what?
I miss Max. I like Max.
Yeah,
here.
I like
his
Max.
presence.
Yeah, Max has. Max
I
is
feel
good.
like everything's under control. I got it. You guys just do your thing.
Max fucking sits in the booth, and he'll riff with us.
riff with us. Look shit up.
Fucking Max,
directors,
man.
names,
Yeah, dude.
whatever. He's got it.
He's got
that
it.
poem, but Michael did a great job.
Michael
getting
killed it. I don't know if Max would have got there.
Googler.
Yeah, Max.
That was my old job.
Michael on Cracked Mirror was the Max.
That was my job.
Max.
Yeah,
Cracked Mirror, the old podcast.
our old
Oh, yeah.
podcast
On
on Black,
Black
Mirror.
Mirror.
Yep.
Check it out.
Got it.
Which we're gonna redo all the Black Mirror episodes, and I'm fucking
on Flix and Six.
yes, sir.
Oh wow!
Yeah, stoked.
I'm pumped.
I can already feel my mind exploding.
That's how it goes with Black Mirror, dude.
Dude, I'm so excited.
My
'Cause I was
mind
only on the last like 5 or 6.
Yeah, we're gonna do literally every episode
Ugh.
as a Flix and Six episode.
Dude, the kindergarten teacher kind of blew my mind.
Yeah.
Like, what kind? They just didn't give it a good title.
No,
Not at all.
and I
It's
think-
the worst thing. That's my biggest critique is
Yeah.
like shitty title.
Yeah, and I think the trailer is a little like if you guys are at
Misleading?
home, and this is a little late in the game to be
Misleading?
throwing this out there, but when you watch the trailer, you're like, okay, like she's crazy,
Yeah.
right? But the movie is so much
It's
more.
a lot
Yeah.
more.
It's so deep.
much more.
And I was very pleased.
Very pleased.
Yeah.
I loved it. Let's do some final thoughts. Let's
Let's
go
do
around the
it.
horn.
Let's do it.
Pickles, why don't you lead us with your final thought, man?
Final thoughts. Yeah, I really liked it. Yeah, it really makes you think. It's not just some movie that you put on to pass time. You definitely get drawn in immediately. There are some like uncomfortable points where don't stop watching because it has a really great ending. But yeah, overall really great movie. Maggie Gyllenhaal acted her ass off. She's in every single scene, like basically by herself. The kid speaks here and there.
Yeah,
But
but
basically,
she
she just-
I
single-handed.
didn't even
runs
view
the
it like
show.
that, but that is a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
she
a good point.
literally just, kudos to her. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Tom, what do you got, man?
The story is very well written. The characters are very deep, much deeper than you would ever think for a movie called The Kindergarten Teacher.
Well said.
And it definitely there's like a good message in the movie where society doesn't appreciate art like it used to, and there's a lot of artists get corrupted by just from growing up in this world that we have. That message is very clear in this film. Like, we knew that this kid was going to lose his talent because he was going to get sucked into Call of Duty one day. Or,
Man.
and it's sad, and it's like, it's funny, but that
It's
can really
true.
happen to
True.
people.
Yeah.
And so there's definitely like a great message, to anyone that notices art like that in the world. Like, build that stuff up, like
Amen.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's really a touching story. It's beautiful.
Beautiful story. Yeah, I'd have to agree pretty much with everything these two said. I think the aesthetic of the film is something we didn't really touch on, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Super cool blues throughout.
Cold, but
Very cold, but then
warm.
occasionally like some bright yellows and stuff. And so it was like very much like, this is a very sad story, but like it's all a
Moments
matter
hope.
of perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Right.
It is.
And that's something that's thematically present the entire time, which I really liked. I thought the direction was absolutely awesome. I mean, I don't know what else Sarah Colangelo has done. I haven't looked.
I'd be interested to see.
I would
Be
because
interested to see the things she's going to do after this.
big time.
Yeah,
because
that too.
she nailed it.
Yeah.
I mean, she won Best Director at Sundance, which is no small feat.
Good job to her.
Way to go, Sarah.
Hell yeah.
If you're watching, Sarah, for whatever the fuck reason you'd be watching,
That's dope.
great
Might
job.
be. Who knows?
But yeah, I loved it, man. I thought it was good, and it's definitely a weird shift from the Titan.
Oh yeah.
not
We
good
got a
at
little
this.
deeper, and we got to like really talk and think, and I thought that was fun, and I like that it's bringing out the artist in us, and making us appreciate what we see and what we create. At least for me, it did, and
Yeah.
I thought it was great. Maggie Gyllenhaal, I love you, dude.
Yeah.
God, she's so good.
Yeah.
Michael, what do you got?
Actually, I've been sitting here thinking what other good titles for this movie should have been. I have 2 ideas. One, Anna.
Oh shit, Michael.
2, which is not as good, but The Poet.
The Poet. I was gonna say that's my tongue.
Just spitballing
Yeah.
here.
Michael, I'm not an artist. Artist
Yeah,
over
you
here.
just
Yeah.
hit me with Anna
Anna.
for the title. Damn.
Because you don't know.
Yeah.
Anna could be anything.
It
and
could
that's
be
like,
anything.
That's
poetic.
It. Yeah.
That's it.
This was my episode. I did really well on this one.
You did. You did
but
really
I
well,
also wanted
Michael.
to mention I'm glad that we tried to trick you because
Oh.
this
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
have happened.
Oh, yeah.
I know this is
Totally.
really late because we didn't mention it.
Yeah, I forgot to mention
But
it.
we tried to trick Tommy into watching this kind of cheesy girl chick flick.
flick.
It was chick flicky.
Love notes.
Teenage
and-
love
Yeah,
notes.
to
and
all the boys
I've ever loved. Yeah,
Yeah, something like that.
something like that.
I don't
and
think we're going to be doing that one.
stick around because we're definitely going to do that one.
It'll be up for a vote.
Yeah.
I'll be out that night.
But I'm glad that we did, and I can't believe we didn't come up. Did we watch? No, we watched the trailer last night.
We did, yeah.
Yeah. But as a whole, I thought the movie was really well done, and the longer we sat and talked about it, I will actually change my vote to 2 thumbs up because
You can change your vote.
it's because it's fun to like bounce ideas. Like, this is where my creative. I may not say a lot of them, but they're up here. And it really shifted my perspective on this film a lot. And then kind of I touched on it a little bit ago. It's like this has been the theme of my day, living on purpose. And it's not doing the actions. It's like what you have inside you, those characteristics or those qualities that help push you through and being more purposeful in your day-to-day life. Or you're going to end up like Maggie Gyllenhaal
gonna
and
kidnap
start kidnapping
children.
little children.
Yeah.
Great message.
Yeah.
Sick.
TJ, you're welcome.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that's I'll watch it again
Absolutely.
eventually. You know, when I'm
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, let's watch this.
Yeah.
I'll throw it on again for sure.
For sure.
I love that. Really well said, Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Thank you.
think
Good job.
like the reason I'll watch and when we do watch it again, because I'm gonna watch it again too. But I think the message that I'm walking away with is one of a really positive nature of like,
Yeah.
you know what,
Yeah.
like it may not be something super flashy, it may not be something super fame related or materialistic, you know, but like we all have sick purpose, you know, like we've got great purpose, you know. And so when I watch it a second time, I feel like that's going to be what's reinforced even more is like, damn, like this is just a woman who is having a hard time identifying
Yeah.
her purpose.
Lost her way.
Yep.
And that's the kindergarten teacher.
The kindergarten
Boom.
teacher.
Thank you
Worst
guys so
name
much for
ever.
tuning in. Like and subscribe to the channel. Comment in the comments below. Okay, if you think we're all fucking wrong and you think this bitch just crazy, leave a comment. We're willing to engage with that. But yeah, like, comment, share if you're interested. We love your guys' support, and we also want to make sure that you're staying up to date on what you should or should not watch on your favorite streaming platforms. Yeah, this was the kindergarten teacher. Also, hard R rating because there's a lot of boob.
There's a lot of boob.
About an
Kids
hour,
not
hour and a half
allowed.
runtime. Hour and a half.
It's like hour 40.
Hour 40.
40, 15 minutes, boob.
Yeah.
15
At
at least.
least.
Minimum.
At least.
And that is the kindergarten teacher. Thank you guys so much. I'm Jeremy Miller.
Michael Chernus.
I'm Tommy Lagan.
Jen writes.
We'll catch you guys on the next one.
You excited? Yeah. Are you? Yeah.